It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I need a crack rock on the spot.
You little right there when this lied and said that I got her pregnant when I fucking did it. And then you dumbass 3 years later believe some that makes the same allegations again. You idiots. You're the faggot. You're the You know who you're talking to? I am a member of the Klan. I got a white hood.
You know what? I bet you're fat.
Yo, do these know who the they're talking to? I am the captain now, I am the fucking captain. These can't stop me. I'm fucking out here. I'm the chef now.
Get a white shirt.
I beg your pardon?
Obviously, you know, it needs to be the point where if you told her to jump off a cliff, she would do it. Obviously, you would never do that. Yeah. But you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to make a point here. That's how it's got to be, okay? With women, guys, I hate to say it like that, but that's the only way you know that she loves you.
Do it. Get the fuck out of here. Let's Florida. You stupid nigger.
To you, boo-boo. To you, boo-boo. Oh, yeah. I fucking preach. Hey, we're lick windows for fun.
Right now, swinging from a monkey ranch, eating a banana, playing some Donkey Kong on an N64 because he's a stupid prick. He's a window-licking stupid nigger.
What?
What?
He's chewing spade to spade. Not respect to minorities. What the fuck? Stop!
What?
I want to get another run. I like a long.
Pause. Never ever compare that Myron dude to them fucking Jews, you motherfucker.
Whoa.
Okay? We don't ever compare them to Jew 3,
What
motherfucker. Alright, don't do that. Don't do that. I will find you, you fucking stinky looking piece of shit. You go fucking back on the right here. I don't like you already. I can see why this Myron individual wants to kick your ass.
Hi, my name is Akeem, and I am the founder, chairman, CEO, president, vice president, and the dean of Ran-DomU University. We offer a vast variety of courses, everything from psychology of the fake alpha male to cringe studies to pause 101. Now, if you're interested in joining this university, please call or text the number on the screen at 1555 Ran-DomU. Are you ready?
Merry Christmas. Welcome back to Ran-DomU University. I hope you enjoyed today's production. Merry Christmas and almost Happy New Year. Well, my name is Akeem, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Welcome back to Ran-DomU University. And today, I hope you're looking forward to today's holiday special, as we have something very special in store for you today. Today, we're going to be going through Myron Gaines' very own Why Women Deserve Less. Yes, I don't think there's something that can make you any more excited than less reading through this book today. Because I think we should all get nestled together, whether it's with a loved one, whether they're, canine, cat, amphibian. It doesn't matter which race of human it is. As long as we're together with somebody, we all find a way to learn something special out of today's book. I think we can all learn something from story time, and I don't think there's a better story to tell on a day like Christmas today than this. Why Women Deserve Less. I hope you enjoy. Chapter 1. What You're Up Against. Chapter 1 was only a page and a half, so I just decided to go ahead and skip to chapter number 2. Chapter 2. Tom, Dick, and Harry. Now let's go ahead and just break this down. This is literally about the stories of 3 individuals. Now first, let's talk about Tom. Tom was a 15-year-old boy, a boy who was just old enough past puberty to realize that he was going to be interested in titties. He was just an individual who was just like your average kid who liked video games, hanging out with his boys, cracking jokes, stuff like that. But also, just like any boy around his age, he also started to have fantasies, started to have dreams, wet dreams, about some of those girls he was starting to see in the hallways, some of the girls he was seeing in his class. And then one day, Tom decided that his balls had dropped just enough for him to summon up the courage to go talk to the girl that he had a crush on. So he got his cheapest cologne, got himself all cleaned up, made sure he, brushed his teeth, ate some gum. Then he approached her, and then he bombed. He failed. It was ugly. It was something horrible. It was actually worse than a James Harden elimination playoff game performance. It was really sad. It was something that would make you never want to try again. Something that made you question, why did I play ball in the first place? That's what happened to Tom. And thus it would end there. Not only that, she embarrassed him further. She posted the whole thing on social media. She had recorded it. So all her friends, and any enemy or bully that he had against him could all clown him for it for the rest of his freshman year. So Tom went out sad. Next story is about a young man named Dick. Dick be working hard, hence the name. And it also reminds me of a young man when I was little named Darren Hardwick. He was a hard worker as well. Could you imagine that nickname? Hardworking Dick Hardwick? Well, anyway, hardworking Dick Hardwick was out there grinding on the job because Dick be grinding. Pause. No diddy. That man be putting in a lot of hours, working about 80 hours a week on the job. Yes. And thus he actually, since he's a construction worker, literally carries a hard hat and a lunch pail. He really does live that life. Well, anyway, just like Tom, he was out there fantasizing, having wet dreams about some of the women that he was seeing around his construction site, getting excited at the thought of asking one of them out on a date. So he summoned up the courage one day, just like Tom, and he asked this woman out, except schedules never aligned. So one day, it actually worked out. She asked him out. Quite the plot twist. Schedules aligned. So he decided to do the masculine thing and pre-plan the date. He decided to go ahead and pre-order the Uber. Go ahead and get that lined up nice and romantic style for the night before. So the next morning, he sends a text. Quiet, no response. Crickets. A couple hours later, he sends another text. No response. More crickets. Starts to get nervous, so he sends another text a couple hours later after that. Quiet, no response. More crickets. So as you would expect, he got nervous. He freaked out, decided to drive over to that apartment, and that's where he made his mistake. Once he got over there, he realized that all the lights were off. Right over there at 6 p.m., right there, dead in the afternoon. No reason for all the lights to be off, except she was probably upstairs hiding in the closet, apparently. Scared to death that she had made the greatest mistake of her entire life, accepting him out on a date, which crushed that man. Poor Dick, left right out there in the front porch, right there in front of the front door with his dick in his hand. The next story is about an old man named Harry. Harry was an old man who had already been on his third marriage now. He was a person who was apparently just waiting out for this person to die, this old woman who just was nagging and just pestering all the time. She was a person who just couldn't wait for him to die so she can inherit his life insurance, apparently, but unfortunately she was losing the race to the end. Apparently Harry was gonna, survive that and win that race. But poor old Harry was already sad, deep in depression, considering he had already been sucked completely dry from his balls to his bank account in his previous 2 marriages with 2 blood-sucking succubuses. It was really unfortunate for Harry, because Harry was a guy who really just decided he was going to work hard throughout his life, really be devoted to the women. But really at the end of his life, he had nothing left. Just a bunch of pain and a casket to look forward to with a tombstone with his face on it. So essentially, chapter 2 was just a telling of those 3 individuals' sad stories about how women just went ahead and destroyed and wrecked their lives. I'm not so sure if the 15-year-old ever rebounded or bounced back. I guess there just wasn't enough time. Neither for the 25-year-old Dick. I guess there just wasn't enough time for him to rebound either. I guess these women were it. I guess he only had one shot out there and, that was a wrap. I guess the freshman embarrassment was going to be too much for Tom, and Harry, it was already too late for him. That part I agree with. At 78, I'm pretty sure it was time to write it off because apparently Harry was not up to date on modern technology. Now, I wanted to read one excerpt from chapter 2 that I thought was very interesting to hold on to, and that was late in the chapter. It said, "Men desperately need a simple, brief, concise, and practical manual that summarizes this wisdom into an action plan you can implement now," which, once again, in all caps. There's a lot of all caps in this book. Myron uses all caps a whole lot. You really feel them when you're reading this context. Then that is what this book will be used to do. Why Women Deserve Less is the mandatory introduction to this new reality men must understand. Don't get embarrassed like Tom. Don't get stood up like Dick. Don't waste your life like Harry. Intelligent men learn from their mistakes, but wise men learn from other people's mistakes. Now that was actually good. Chapter 3, The Old Contract. Ooh, this sounds interesting now. Now, the old contract was nothing sexy or exciting. It was boring. Despite all the flowers, white wedding dresses, cringe romantic comedies, and love songs, it boiled down to men provided resources and protection, women provided sex and, if wanted, children. And thus, that is Old Contract. The rest of the couple pages was just literally him spewing off a whole bunch of gibbery drew about, justifying what those two things were. Sort of like the rest of the chapter is just like a whole bunch of all caps once again, like conflicts and unplug and how it used to be and don't deny reality. I mean, it's a lot of just aggressiveness in this. And like, this does not mean give up like a pussy. On the contrary, you should not deny your biological nature. You are hardwired to want women, love, sex, and for the most part, children. To deny your nature damns you to lead a miserable life and unfulfilled life, which is what many modern women have foolishly done today. Bars. Chapter 4, the new contract. Ooh, okay. I don't need a man is the lead quote in all caps, in bold. So let's start off here. If you're a man alive today, there's a 100% guarantee you have heard the words, I don't need a man. Okay, that's true, I've heard that. Whether it was Destiny Child's Independent Woman, Beyonce's Run the World, or some other mindless soundtrack to modern women's delusion, you have heard this anti-male propaganda before. Ironically enough, Beyonce, every feminist's favorite musician, married Jay-Z, who has more status and higher net worth. Unfortunately, he also cheated on her, and she didn't go anywhere despite releasing hit songs like Irreplaceable. In the song, she sings, I can have another you in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute, baby. You must not know about me. I can have another you by tomorrow. Music like this encourages women to leave men, but clearly she couldn't put Jay-Z to the left, as she is the replaceable one. Every feminist's idol is the biggest hypocrite and is enslaved to her biology. Hypergamy never fails. Myron. Boy, I tell you what, dropping bars like this is just a mega weight for all the kids below the age of 15. The new contract basically is just a feminist's, greatest dream. That's basically all the new contract is. Just a great big old happy time for women to cut off all the men. It is time for them to just say all the single ladies, and it's time to twerk it up in the club. Twerk it up. That's the life of the new contract. Now that concludes the very first half of the book. Yes, we have already reached the halfway point in this review. This book is already about finished. Not a book that has a whole lot of substance, as it is a book that has only got about 85 pages in it. And I think most of that is dedicated to resources and just citing things. Well, anyway, I wanted to do something together. I figured this exercise would be healthy, something fun for us to all engage in, something to talk about. And please, if you have any suggestions or any ideas, please leave it in the comments, because we are going to go over some of the top things to leave in 2024 in the years before. So first that I have on the list is BBLs. Women, please hear me out. Listen, most men, even though they do love BBLs, regardless of what most men like to say, they love the BBLs. It's not healthy for you. And most men like me don't like the BBLs. But a good chunk of us do. So let's not pretend like dudes don't be thirsting for the BBLs. They really do. They be foaming out the mouth. But it's not good for you. And quite frankly, having these surgeries that are going to put a detriment to your back and your health and your life at risk, I just don't think it's worth the time. Like when you got an ass that's so fat that it's literally going to cause your knees to cave in like the Fresh and Fit podcast table, I don't think this is something that you should have going forward in the future. Just something to reconsider. Next is fake veneers. Just saying, if you're going to have to pull up at somebody's house, garage, condo, anything that doesn't look like an official office to go ahead and get your teeth worked on, I don't recommend it. If you're going over to Turkey to get it done for 1/10 of the price, there's a reason why it's 1/10 of the price. Lip filler, face filler. All I'm saying is, ladies, which this isn't more or less a black women issue, it's more or less a white women issue. Please stop getting the fillers. There's no need to pump your faces up like that. Like, you get to the point where you do get the Vivica Fox face, which is a black issue there. But most of the women I see are white that had this problem, and they get the concrete face. You stop being able to smile. You stop being able to make facial expressions, and that gets real scary. You start looking like a mannequin. And no man who's going to be forced to have sex with said individual should be forced to have sex with somebody that looks like a puppet. I'm just saying, that is wrong. Nobody should feel like they're having sex with a toy. Next on the list I have is dumb bimbo videos. I'm not even quite sure what I meant by that, but yes. YouTube Geppettos. Yes, please, let's go ahead and leave those behind. There seems to be another one busted every other couple weeks, mostly in the white YouTube sphere, but either way, they need to go. Faking illness or death for clout. I think that is said right there in that statement. I think that needs to be left behind. Anybody who's going to go out here and fake that they have any type of disease or fake that they actually died where people can mourn them and they can throw themselves some type of victimhood, trophy, celebration. Like, let's go ahead and hope that that person really suffers the true karma that they deserve. The sad part is they never really seem to get that karma. They always seem to move on and carry on and keep on scamming. But everybody's hoping that they somehow get the, herpes of the throat, mouth, face, and genitals. And they never get that. Nor do they get ALS or something that's completely crippling. Something that would really suck the soul out of them. Next is hating people who don't agree with you. Yes, can we please leave this behind? We need to start having constructive conversations. We really need to start learning how to build with one another. And the only way we know how to build with one another is to be able to have open conversations. Next I have is online gurus. I think that says enough in itself. Whether we're talking about people like in today's video, Myron, Fresh and Fit, Black Guru, FitX Fearless. Those individuals, they're fakers. Those are scam artists online. Stop following those online gurus. They're not gurus. Saint the Sinner, Conovan Sharp, fakes. Next is online courses, which pretty much goes along with the online gurus. If they're selling you a course and if it's anything that's above the price of $10, I don't recommend you take it. Because if it's not going to provide you any real educational value, or if it's not going to really solve any of your problems, or if it's not going to provide you some form of entertainment, I think you should personally throw it away. Next is intentional crash outs. Intentional crash outs is people a la FouseyTube. Somebody who's literally crashing out just for you to feel sorry for them. Someone that will literally do anything for them to get sympathy dollars. Somebody who will basically denounce any form of accountability. Make sure they're never held responsible for anything that they do personally. Blame mental illness, blame drugs, blame friends, blame anything but themselves. They are trash and we need to stop incentivizing them. Next I also have on the list is self-diagnosing folks. We really need to stop doing that, you guys. We really don't know if somebody is autistic. Please, don't do the Amanda Seals. Let's not do those things. We don't know if somebody's got OCD. We don't know if somebody's bipolar and just flat out crazy. Some people are just dicks. And any time that we go out here and we try to justify these things with some form of sickness, all we are doing is justifying their narcissism. Go figure, next on my list is forgiving narcissists. So it just goes back to the previous problem. Stop making that problem in the first place, and then we need to stop forgiving those folks. Next I have incentivizing degenerate people and content, a la Johnny Salami. Please, whatever we need to do is stop tuning into these individuals' live streams. When they're live streaming, their numbers need to be zero. They don't need to be in thousands. They don't need to be in the hundreds. They don't need to be in the teens or single digits. No one needs to tune into these live streams. All they're doing is wasting your time and they're being a detriment to society. They're harassing people in live real time, assaulting individuals in live real time. Those people really should pay the price. And I think the only way that we properly suck their soul out, pause no diddy, is that we just stop tuning into their live streams. Stop watching. Stop giving them numbers. And the only way that live stream is going to end is with them doing a free fall off the Empire State Building with no one watching and with the camera still on. Next I have on a list is Hawk Tour, which I think that says enough in itself. The 4B movement. And lastly, gosh, I cannot really stress this enough, and that is speakerphones in public. My goodness. Can please people stop using their speakerphone in public? It is not meant for that. Please have a normal conversation. I don't want to hear about what you're going to have for dinner. I don't want to know what kind of sex you're going to have. I don't want to know what kind of dominatrix experience you're trying to have later that afternoon. I don't want to know what's wrong with your kids. I don't want to know if you're going to burn somebody else's house down. I don't want to know if you're going to kill the neighbor's cat. I don't want to know any of it. Please stop having that conversation out loud. You can easily turn off speaker. Now, I really hope that you enjoy intermission.
Booty queef. Booty queef. Just boys being boys. Booty queef. Booty queef. Boys. Booty queef. Just boys being boys. Booty queef. Booty queef. Boys. Booty queef. Just boys being boys. Booty queef. Booty queef.
Reparations are for retards, okay? Black people need to just stop being lazy. You're not going to get a handout, okay? We're not going to give you your reparations because guess who's going to have to pay for that shit? The middle class is going to have to pay for it.
Yes. Myron, you were in MySpace the other day, and I said, you're doing a great job calling out these Jews, but, if we take this country back, we want it for white folks, and would you go home? And you said, I was born here, and I'm not going anywhere. And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Do you still stand? Why do you Browns think
Shut
you
up.
could stay in my country?
I know you're trying to get a clippable moment here for your fucking.
No, it's the truth,
thing or
man. This
whatever.
is the
Like, I
issue
love
with
how
whites working with
we're here talking about a
non-whites.
problem. We're over here talking about a problem, then you bring it right back into this whole white thing. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
This whole
White people
white thing is
great.
what built this
Shut
country,
up.
Myron.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Hey, you fucking
Literally,
sand nigger. You sand nigger.
This fucking guy. Look,
No, it's the truth.
I'm not even
You
talking to
didn't
you
build
right
this
now. I'm not
country,
even-
Myron.
I'm
You're not from here.
Address you right
You're
now.
you're
Look,
not from this country. Why
Yo.
do you think you can stay?
Anyway, I've been a stark defender of white people being able to have this and be able to practice it without people calling them. But then I get kids like this Mexican coming in here.
I'm not
talking
Mexican,
shit
you sand
for
nigger.
no fucking reason talking
I'm
shit.
not
When I wasn't
Mexican,
even
you
talking
camel
about them,
jockey.
Arab and black descent. I've been very vocal about whites, right? Having the ability to claim to say, hey, like, I don't think white supremacy is a bad thing. I don't have an issue with whites. Like, I don't think white supremacy is a bad thing. Like, I don't think white supremacy is a bad thing.
That man wrote this book. On to chapter 5. Chapter 5, The Ugly Truth. Oh my, I thought this was actually losing steam. I was wrong. Well, let's go ahead and start off with this quote. Women hate beta males so much, they'll assume $150,000 plus in student loans to go to a college for 4 to 8 years to qualify for a 40 to 50 hour per week soul-crushing job just to avoid marrying one. Rollo Tomasi. Bars. What we were missing was one simple, ugly truth. And that ugly truth is that most women simply don't like most men that much and never really did. Well, chapter 5 is basically just summed up in a whole bunch of pseudo bro science talking about some Tinder stats and some I Am Cupid statistics about how the male dating scene is just not what it used to be. It's catered and just, pivoted towards the women, and that is the only way it's going to be. The only men that actually stand a chance nowadays are the men that are at the top. The men that are always getting swiped right on. It's only a 10% advantage on those apps, which, yes, has proven to be kind of a very true statistic. And that is the way it is out there in society, but it doesn't mean to give up. And Myron doesn't promote giving up, but the thing is, the narrative around this book is pretty much blackpill, which is to give up. If you're not a Chad, if you're not chiseled, you don't have a strong jawline, you're not going to have a chance to get bitches. And that's what this whole entire book was supposed to be about. How to overcome that. Because you have to remember, the fact of the matter is, women simply do not like us. They don't like us for us. So all the times you're going to spend out there putting on the Knights of the Armor, shiny helmet and shield to go out there and defend your family. Whether you're going to go ahead and get the shotgun and strap everybody in the house to make sure you can defend them at all costs. Doing whatever it takes, just know that that woman does not love you at the end of the day. That woman is just using you and waiting for you to croak over, or waiting for the right opportunity to poison you just so she can inherit your life insurance. That is their only purpose, apparently. Chapter 6, Violating the Contract, which essentially is just exactly what Chapter 4 was, which was by creating the new contract, they violated the old contract. So that's what I guess number 6 is. Well, anyway, he took about a good page and a half or 2 pages to actually get to the point where it says violating the contract. So let's read here. Though there are hardworking women who have no doubt upheld their end of the bargain, and this chapter does not apply to them, men's addiction to pussy has allowed women to violate the new contract and abuse remnants of the old in many ways. There is no way to chronicleize and categorize all the various ways women have done this, but the most egregious and hypocritical violation of the new contract is their inability to carry their economic weight in the society, necessitating their continued disproportionate dependence on men. And since the fundamental clause of the new contract was that men would no longer have to support women, violating the key clause means the new contract should be thrown out, or at least men shouldn't honor their side of the contract. Jesus Christ, I mean, you're talking about word salad. Holy shit. There are other general ways women violate the new contract, abuse the old, or negotiate in bad faith. And so, a general review of women's actions in today's society is needed to show men where they have violated the contract and why women deserve less. These behaviors, of which can be put into 3 general categories: economic dependence, negotiating in bad faith, victim status, and preferential treatment. Essentially, economic status came down to the fact that they said women violated the contract by no longer needing men to help provide for them as much in society. The fact that women wanted to go out there and work hard, become a CEO, a vice president, a leader. Deciding to do so was basically putting, all their real intrinsic values to waste. Being a birth giver, If you didn't marry a man, if you didn't cater to his every beck and call and his every need, then you weren't fulfilling your real purpose as a woman. That's all the way dated back into the old contract, where we lost our way, created the new contract, and thus we're on this bullshit contract apparently. Negotiating in bad faith. Now, the passage they have here says, much as men don't like to admit it, we have emotions. Men fall in love, are true romantics, and are closer to unconditional love than women. Oh my. Women don't have it in their souls to love a man unconditionally. There's just no way. If you don't have enough money or resources, there's just no way they can actually love you for you. Your personality, your wit, your charm, your charisma, none of those have anything to do with any of that. They will never love you unconditionally. They will never sit there and cry at your gravestone. That whole story about Snow White, bullshit. Lastly is victim status and preferential treatment. Essentially what that means is that a woman will meet to a man without second thought or opinion. They'll simply just go ahead and throw a man under the bus without ever even giving it a second thought. These are individuals who just only want to be a victim. And thus what they'll do is they'll blame a man and they'll just blame everything on him and get him thrown in jail. That way they never had to take any form of accountability. That's the way of the new modern woman. Myron Gaines. Chapter 7. You deserve more. They deserve less. I wonder who they are. Oh, that's right, women. This book does not call for refusing to help your fellow human if she is a woman, nor does it call for refusing to work, interact, or socialize with women in society. Instead, it is to prevent you from wasting your resources on the unreciprocated romantic and sexual pursuit of women to the point it ruins your life. Essentially, what Myron is trying to say is, stop simping. Stop going out there and buying women things. Stop being kind. Don't buy a woman flowers. Don't write her a love letter. That woman needs to just smell the masculine right off of your chin. She needs to just smell it right from your chest muscles, right from your pecs. Because to prove you're really masculine is to get your ass in the gym. Get swole. See Joey Swole? Well, get fit. Just like Fit, who was Myron. Be just like these individuals with the big chest. That's what women really notice. Because having all that charisma, charm, all that stuff is nice. But ultimately, remember, at the end of the day, women only want you for your value and your resources. If you don't have money in the bank account, she won't want you or to desire you unless you have that nice ass body. And then you can at least clap some cheeks. And if you can clap some cheeks, that can at least buy you some time between, sad depressions of not actually having any forms of real love to actually maybe having something that might be established as real. Well, anyway, just remember, men, you deserve more. They deserve less. Because if you continue to give women more, they will only take more. And you don't want that, because that's only going to take from your soul. Ran-DomU. Now, I should note the resources that he was talking about in this chapter was your time, your money, and your energy. Now, there are some things that you can agree with in this book, which is some basically very obvious things, which is if you're wasting your time on a woman and she doesn't seem to be interested or reciprocating back the same interest, she's not responding back to your text very often, or she doesn't seem to be sending as long of responses. You seem to be sending, multiple sentences, a paragraph, and she sends back 3 letters or 3 words, then I would say then she's not interested. Also, valuing the time. Don't waste your money. It's just that simple. Don't go out there just simping away. You should buy a woman things from time to time. Maybe not the first time you meet somebody, a little creepy. I'm pretty sure most of them would be weirded out, and I would not go for that. So don't just go throwing your money right down the drain or having expensive dinners just because you think that fits the aesthetic. Unless that's the lifestyle you're going for, which is not what most people are going for, I would not do that. Keep it simple. If they don't like it simple, move on. Lastly is energy. It's very simple. It kind of goes with the time. If you waste enough time, then you will waste enough energy. They go hand in hand, so don't waste it. Chapter 8, putting it all together. Well, I have put it together personally, and me putting it together has came down to the conclusion that Myron wants all men to be homosexual. I think that Myron wants you to get together with your bros, some of your friends that you get together in your peer groups, some of your classes, your jobs, the break room, some guys you go to the gym with, guys you may hoop with, anybody in your fantasy leagues. Get together and start having these conversations about, women have abandoned us, right? We're just in it for ourselves. And nobody can love me like I love you, bro. Pause. Full ditty. After reading this Jibri Jew, I'm pretty sure Myron really does just want men to abandon women and get into the hunt pile. Because that's the only thing that's going to make him happy. He's been exposed many different times for not necessarily wanting the cheeks, but definitely wanting some men booty cheeks. And for him, he's like, well, for men, if we can't get it from women without having to cough up all our resources and all our goods and stuff like that, then, well, we need butt, right? That's where Myron's at. Which, you know, hey, that's fine if he wants to. Just don't try to indoctrinate everybody and don't try to turn it into a cult-like following, just like Saint the Sinner. Now, there's resources as the last chapter in chapter 9, so chapter 9 really is just him dedicating this book to a whole bunch of red pill losers that are irrelevant to name. I mean, Conovan Sharp was one of the people, so Jesus Christ, I mean, to think about that. Now, he did have one more excerpt in this book that I thought was interesting, and he was talking about the Tom Brady gamble. And he said, Brefalt's law states, the female, not the male, determines all the conditions of the animal family. Ooh, interesting. Well, basically, he just went on to talk about how Tom Brady got fleeced, and if he would have read Why Women Deserve Less, Tom Brady would not have been in the position that he was in. Quite the statement. Well, anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this book review. Merry Christmas. Almost Happy New Year once again. Yeah, this was a very interesting day. I hope you're sitting around with loved ones. So this book review, I hope, was enjoyable, and I hope you learned something about Myron. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you. Well, anyway, I had a very huge dissatisfaction of having to read Why Women Deserve Less for Christmas. Yes, I know Akeem was trying to sell you on the whole fallacy and the facade that I was going to have off this holiday. Well, he lied. I know he seems like a nice guy because he speaks all proper and he wears a turtleneck, but he's a tyrant. He's out here just pretending and perpetuating himself to be somebody special with all these different titles and positions that he has here at this university when he's out here faking being Dr. Umar Johnson. Like, come on now, don't get caught up in the hype with Akeem. I'm the one who's out here working each and every day. Well, anyway, he put me on assignment and had me read this cringy ass book for Christmas. Why Women Deserve Less. This book, when I read it, it truly hurt me to read it. It hurt me to read it because I knew that I'd already spent $20 on this book. And to think there's only about 80 pages worth of substance in here, what I was getting per dollar per the content that I was getting didn't seem to add up. $4 per page for a book that was full of bullshit doesn't seem like it was really worth my time. If I was really going to give an Amazon review, I would give it a 0. I didn't give it because I don't like to be one of those people that gives those reviews and be one of those guys. Because sometimes people just give hate reviews. Even though this book was dog shit, I definitely don't want to go out there and just give it a 0. But feel free to go out there and do it yourself. Because I mean, this book was trash. It was just depressing too. When I think of depression, I think of this book. This book was literally a tutorial on how to give up on your life. That is what this book was when I was reading it. Like just a whole bunch of, oh my God, feel sorry for me, victimhood mentality, bull crap for men. Just page after page after page. Everybody going down feeling like Tom, Dick, and Harry, all feeling sad and lonely, taking L after L after L. That's what this whole book was, man. Like honestly, like when I think about it, I can't think of anything that would dry up a woman's coochie faster than her walking into your home and finding out that you had Why Women Deserve Less on your bookshelf. Like, can you imagine her going into your bathroom to take a shit and she actually noticed that that book was over there on the magazine rack? This is how you get shit left in your toilet at home. This is how you get left on red. This is how you get left with the bill stuck at the table. This is how a woman ends up going to the bathroom and saying, oh my God, and then she never comes back. This is how you end up just like Tom, Dick, and Harry, which is ironic, considering the fact that this whole book was about how to not end up like Tom, Dick, and Harry, and yet that's all this book is. It's how to end up just like Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's how this whole book is, and it's just pathetic. Pathetic. What a waste of time to spend on Christmas reading this bullshit. Jingle bells. Myron smells. Fresh just faked in it.
This banana pudding my mom made is the absolute greatest thing I have ever eaten. It is absolutely perfectly made. It is perfectly concentrated. There's not an ounce of it that seems to be runny. I mean, and she's made this a lot, and it's been great every time. But I mean, this time, I mean, just damn. I don't even know what to say. But, oh yeah, I'm Spider-Man, by the way. I definitely meant to reveal this a while back. I know I've been keeping this under wraps, and I said I was going to reveal this at a later video, and now today is that video. We are here today, and I'm here to tell y'all that this is Universe 4, and I am Universes 4's Spider-Man. I'm not really sure how many universes there are. I just know based on that telescope that Neil deGrasse Tyson be using, there is a lot. There is a ton. And unfortunately, in this reality, all you get is me and NPC Miles Morales. You get one black Spider-Man who can't even climb or stick to walls, and then you get another one who is continuously crashing out and is pretty determined to live the rest of his life in prison or just live underneath a bridge. Because I mean, that's pretty much what it seems like what's going to happen to Miles. I mean, he's not doing well. But other than that, I mean, I was going to announce that and tell you that I really hope that y'all enjoyed the book review. I hope that y'all are having a Merry Christmas. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate all the support that I've been getting here, and it's appreciated, you guys. It really is. Thank you. I never imagined that I'd actually get to this point, and it's all thanks to you. So, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Peace be at the journey.